Now tell me that's not some sexiness, no? Y'all think that's sexy? Yep, I think that's very sexy. Ah, yes, can't wait to see that on the old Athena WR 2.0, 29 to 310. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, you guys probably have thought I've fallen off the planet. Sorry, you guys, it's been so long getting with you here. We just had a lot going on, but I want you to take a real quick look at the YZ450. A couple reasons. One, it was my birthday last week, and my little lady hooked me up with some new graphics. They're coming. They're being made now. Well, they're not totally done yet. We haven't decided yet. But this bike's going to have some new graphics to go along with it. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is I want to show you something. I'm going to turn the camera over to my boy here for a minute, and I need to show you something on the front end of this bike because we'll be talking about some funky stuff going on with accidental broadcast bikes. So let's take a look here. So you guys will probably notice that this bike does not have the standard front forks. This is a vintage 1985 YZ490, and I've grafted on twin chamber, closed chamber YZ450F forks. What that means is I've got YZ450F lower triple tree and upper triple clamp, and I actually had to cut down the length on the steering stem to get it to work. It's got a YZ450F front wheel and brakes, and I did have the hydraulic front brake master cylinder, but unfortunately I could not, even rebuilding it 3 or 4 times, I couldn't get it to hold pressure, so we went ahead and just bought a new one, and it's been great. So the cool thing about these this style of fork is it has great bottoming resistance, and you can valve them to be super plush on trail riding, motocross riding. You kind of just tune them in for everything. So I wanted to show you that because I need to show you some carnage on the accidental broadcast bike, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay, so let's come over here and check out these forks that accidental broadcast had on his 08 WR250R. And he asked me about this before we had him sent, before he sent the bike over here, wondering what could be done. And I think I might have showed you on the earlier videos how some of this outer stuff is kind of peeling away and flaking off, and this aluminum is kind of breaking down. I think it's almost like corroding from the inside out, is what it looks like. We got major dents in here, and so as we were evaluating what to do with these forks, we're thinking, we could replace these sections. That'd be probably pretty expensive. Both fork seals are definitely leaking, and you can kind of see some of the corrosion that's around here. I think that's a lot just the Maui wetness, I mean, underneath this fork guard it's really bad. Of course, you can replace fork seals and you can replace all the internals, so I wasn't too worried about that, other than the corrosion on the fork leg. Some of that is really pitted bad. So what ends up happening is when you go through the full stroke, you end up, even though you polish off all that pitting, you go down through the bottom of that stroke, you end up tearing your new fork seals completely apart. Sorry, the cars. This fork leg is actually much worse. I don't know if you can kind of see that through the camera or not. Let me get out of the shade here. You can see the corrosion and the pitting. It's really gnarly. I mean, it's really bad. So I'm thinking, gosh, I'm probably gonna have to replace these sliders too. What's that gonna cost? That's gonna add up. So so I started thinking, gosh, what do we do? I just happen to have a set of '09 KX450F twin chamber, closed chamber forks that I was going to use on another project, and decided, you know, I'm going to see if it's possible to make them work. So come on over here and tell me what you think of this. So these are, aren't those awesome looking? So they're off of an '09 KX450F. Yeah, they need to be rebuilt, but the outers are in excellent shape. The inners are a little bit worn. They're starting to go through the nitride coating a little bit, but that's not really a problem. And check this out. This is the cool part. So the diameter, so what you have to do when you're evaluating whether or not you can use a set of aftermarket twin chamber forks on your bike, you got to start out figuring out what you need to do with the triple clamps. So you have to evaluate the size or the diameter of these fork legs. And here's the really cool part. So I measured the old ones right here where they clamped in stock form, and actually what I'm going to do is bring this fork leg so you can kind of see it. If that was actually bolted in, it would be about like that roughly. And the size of this fork leg was only 20 thousandths larger than this. Now what that means is you can actually slide these right into the triple clamps. Yes, it's going to expand that 20 thousandths of an inch, but when you're talking about this size of fork leg, 20 thousandths is nothing, and the top is actually almost identical to the same. So what that means is that we can use his original triple clamps, that's what this is, and not use his fork legs, and we can actually use the KX450F twin chamber fork legs in his stock triple clamps. So what that means, again, is that we don't have to mess around with the key switch. We can keep all of that, and we can, his head tube, of course, all that, the steer tube will fit, and it's not pounded down all the way yet. You know, it's just sitting in there so you can see it. But tell me what you guys think of that. That's gonna be pretty sick, isn't it? Much better in terms of performance, and I think it's going to look awesome too, because you got the gold here, you got some black, and with the powder coating and everything that's going to be done, I think it's going to look sweet. So I have all the internals to rebuild the fork legs. Everything inside is going to be new or replaced. And then the other thing I noticed is over here on his original forks, there are some stickers that what they did over at Go Race when they built this suspension. He's got 0.48 kilogram millimeter mercury springs, which is a little bit stiffer, I think, than what we've got in here stock. These are probably 46s, but we'll figure all that out when we go along. So there's a quick little update on the WR bike of Kalani Prince over at Accidental Broadcast. So sorry it's been so long, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to end up using these babies right there and dial them in and make them sweet. So stay tuned. We've got some, I heard word on the street that some powder coating is done. It's ready to be picked up, at least part of it. And so next video, hopefully we'll be able to show you some of that. So hang in there, guys. Have a great one, and we'll talk with you soon. Duff Factor gone.